they had. The story we shall read is set in the future, when books and house schools as we know them will perhaps not exist. How many will children study then? The diagram below may give you some ideas. In pairs, discuss 3 things that you like best about your school and 3 things about your school that you would like to change. Write them down. Have you ever read words on a television or computer screen?
Margie even wrote about it that night in her diary. On the page headed 17 May 2157, she wrote, "Today Tommy found a real book. It was very old book. Margie's grandfather once said that when he was a little boy, they turned the pages which were yellow and crinkly, and it was awfully funny to read words that stood still instead of moving the way they were supposed to on a screen, and then when they turned back to the page before, it had the same words on it that it had when they read it the first time." He said, "Tommy, what a taste. When you are through with the book, you just throw it away, I guess."
Found little man with a red face and a whole box of tools with dials and wires. He smiled at Margie and gave her an apple, then took the teacher apart. Margie had hoped he would not know how to put it together again, but he knew how all right, and after an hour or so, there it was again, large and black and ugly, with a big screen on which all the lessons were.
Most was the slot where she had to put homework and test papers. She always had to write them out in a punch code. They made her learn when she was 6 years old, and the mechanical teacher calculated the marks in no time. The inspector had smiled after he was finished and patted Margie's head. He said to her mother, "It is not the little girl's fault, Mr. Jones. I think the geography sector was graded a little too quick."
Tommy looked at her very superior eyes because it is not our kind of school. Stupid, it is the old kind of school.
The inspector had smiled after he was finished and patted Magina's head. He said to her mother, "It's not the little girl's fault, Mr. Jones. I think the geography sector was scattered a little too wide. Those things happened. Something. I have sorted it up to an average 10 years level. Actually, the overall pattern of her progress is quite satisfactory."
Margie was disappointed. She had been hoping they would take the teacher away altogether. They had once taken Tommy's teacher away for nearly a month because the history sector had blanked out completely. So she said to Tommy, "Why would anyone write about school?" Tommy looked at her with very superior eyes. "Because it's not our kind of school, stupid. This is the old kind of school that they had hundreds and hundreds of years ago," he added loftily, pronouncing the word carefully, "centuries ago." Margie was hurt. "Well, I don't know what kind of school they had all the time."
"I don't know that, but kind of school they had all the time ago." She read the book over the shoulder by the by, then said, "Anyway, they had a teacher." "Sure, they had a teacher, but wasn't it regular teacher? It has a man." "A man? How could a man be a teacher?" "Well, he just told the boys and girls things and gave them homework and asked them questions. A man isn't smart enough." "Sure, he is my father, knows as much as my teacher. He knows almost as much." And bench.
Margie did so with a sigh. She was thinking about the old schools they had when her grandfather's grandfather was a little boy. All kids from the whole neighborhood came laughing and shouting in a schoolyard.
sitting together in a schoolroom, going home together at the end of the day. They learned the same things so they could help one another with the homework and talk.
The mechanical teacher was flashing on the screen when we add fractions 1 by 2 and 1 by 4. Margie was thinking about how the kids must have loved it in the old days. She was thinking about the fun they had.
Read is set in the future when books and school, as we know them, will perhaps not exist. How will students study them? The diagram below may give you some ideas. Learning through computers, virtual classrooms, robotic teachers, moving e-text. In past, discuss 3 things that we like best about your school and 3 things about your school that you would like to change. Write them down. Have you ever read what's on a television or computer screen? Can you imagine a time when all books will be on computers and there will be no books printed on paper?
She even wrote about it that night in her diary. On the page headed 17 May 2057, she wrote, "Today Tommy found a real book. It was a very old book. Marge's grandfather once said that when he was a little boy, his grandfather told him that there was a time when all stories were printed on paper. They turned the pages, which were yellow and crinkly. It was fully funny to read words that stood still instead of moving the way they were supposed to on a screen. You know."
G and Tommy, what a waste time. When you are through with the book, you just throw it away. I guess our television screen must have had a million books on it, and it's good for plenty more. I wouldn't throw it away. Same with mine, said Margie. She was 11 and hadn't seen as many telebooks as Tommy had. He was 13. She said, "Where did you find it?" "In my house." He pointed without looking because he was busy reading.